Donald Trump met face-to-face with Nigel Farage. Now, there you have the picture. Nigel Farage is the man who led the Brits out of the European Union. And there's this, too. The leaders of Britain and France skipped an emergency European meeting. That meeting had been called. How are we going to handle Trump's win, they said. Well, the Brits and the French stayed away. Look who's here to cover that. Sebastian Gorka, author of that great book, Defeating Jihad. Sebastian, welcome back.
Thank you, Stuart.
What's going on in Europe? The Brits and the French won't even attend a meeting like this? What's going on?
Can we just put that photograph back up of,
we sure can.
Nigel? I just love this photograph. Look at those men's faces.
Yes.
Do you remember the phrase happy warrior from the 80s? Yes. These are the happy warriors back to save us. I mean, people now understand. Brexit, Trump, same thing. It's the same thing. And the EU's just, hair on fire.
Does that mean that Trump's victory enhances the prospect of a totally split and ended Europe?
Absolutely. We've had for about a decade now this idea of a multi-speed Europe. Have you heard this? That some people will be in first gear, some people... That's bogus. The gearbox is smashed. I'm sorry, the gearbox is smashed. There's some nations just saying, these guys in Brussels don't represent us. They're the same as the globalist elite who have been trounced by Trump here in America, and we're going to see more repercussions.
Let me just think this through. If Europe falls apart and Donald Trump says to the Europeans, you're going to have to start defending yourself, you're going to have to start paying for it. You know what that means? That means the rearmament of Germany. How do we feel about that?
Okay. Look, let's be honest. The Cold War. The Cold War, I grew up in the Cold War. We are all, children of the Cold War. The Cold War allowed what the Germans called the social market, right? Yep. This half-pregnant socialist free market thing to be created. But why? Because we underwrote it. America underwrote it with Article 5. Now they have to decide, are they with us to defeat people like ISIS, or are they going to choose butter over guns? Yeah. Now, the question of Germany, Germany's culture has changed quite a bit in the last 50 years. So I'm not petrified of Panzer tanks going down the highways, the boulevards of France. But no, these are the questions that will have to be answered by the elite.
How do we feel about the rearmament of Germany? Because I think it's going. I've got to get this in, Sebastian. Yeah. Iranian Ayatollah Ahmed Khatami, he delivered a message to Donald Trump during Friday's prayers. Now, it said in part, quote, "Do not play around with Iran. Iran will resist until our last breath." What do you make of that? Don't laugh. I mean, he's serious.
It's tough because on the one side, it's absurd. The Lion of Persia, give me a break. I mean, this regime is good at propaganda, I'll give it that. But on the other hand, yeah, this is a regime that every Friday says death to America. And I think they understand who Donald Trump is. This is a message that they're a little bit, yeah, this guy's not Obama.
So they're saying we're going to stand tough, we're going to fight, but they understand that they're not facing the same president.
Right. I was in Trump Tower about an hour ago, and I can tell you the Iran policy of the next administration will not be the Iran policy of this administration.
Easier said than done, though, to tear up that agreement.
No, it's not an international treaty. The president can just say, sorry, done, over.
Okay, if that happened, what would the Iranians do? Build a bomb fast?
Well, look, this is where we have to put pressure onto... look, they're going to build a bomb, whatever we do, unless we take a stance with other nations to make clear to them that there are ramifications for taking our sailors hostage, for hiding your facilities, for not allowing American inspectors onto your territory. These things have to be clearly communicated, and I expect Donald Trump as president to communicate them.
All right, Sebastian, thanks for joining us as always, sir.
My pleasure.
Very much indeed.